guys, welcome to my channel. Wow, it's been a hot minute since I recorded a YouTube video, but I'm excited to be back, baby. I used to record quite consistently here back in the day, a few years ago, and I stopped for whatever reason, but I really miss being creative and creating content for everybody, and I just like to get glammed up, and I don't usually have opportunity to do so. So this gives me a beautiful outlet to get creative, to do something for myself, to feel good. In this channel, you are going to see everything beauty, from makeup, skincare, fashion, hair tutorials. I might be posting some of my personal life. So if you want to follow me along, just please consider subscribing to my channel. Let me know down below in comments what kind of videos you're interested to see here, and hit that notification bell button so you get notified every time that I upload a new video. So I asked you on my Instagram what kind of video you would like to see, and I gave you two options. Option number one was colorful eye makeup look, and option number two was a glowy glass skin tutorial, and you guys voted for the glowy skin tutorial. So I am here to show you how I achieved this look. So if you're interested to see how I do it, just keep on watching. Alright, so I zoomed in a little bit so you guys can see everything a little bit better. I am not naked, I have my off-shoulder shirt. But anyways, we are going to get started. So first and foremost, the most important thing is to have your skin perfectly moisturized and prepped for your makeup. And it's a very crucial step when you apply your makeup. If your skin feels dry, maybe you have some dry patches, maybe consider exfoliating your skin prior, because you want to have that perfectly smooth canvas. Step one should be have a flawless skin, but that's obviously not achievable. So, I mean, not always achievable. So as you can tell, my skin has been breaking out a little bit, and I have some uneven tones, some scars, some breakouts. I have extremely sensitive skin. I break out very easily from trying new products, so that's just what it is. It's very important to have your skin moisturized very well before you attempt this makeup look. So if you already moisturized your skin, we are going to go ahead and move to our primer. If you don't like to use primers, that's totally fine, but I want to achieve a really glowy skin today, so I am going to use my Chanel base Lumere. When it comes to your primers, you can mix and match, because our skin is not always the same in, everywhere. Sometimes we can be a little bit more oily in our T-zone, and our skin can be more on the drier side on our cheeks, or maybe you have larger pores around your nose, maybe on your forehead. So you can mix and match. Listen to your skin and what it needs. If it needs some hydration, give it some hydration. If it needs some mattifying purposes, do that as well. In today's video, we are aiming for really glowy and really moisturized skin, almost like a wet look, very dewy, very glowy. So I am going to start with Chanel Le Blanc Base Lumere Primer. It is going to give me already some nice glowy base. So I take like a pump or two and I apply it with my fingers. I find that what helps me achieve a really nice and smooth canvas is dermaplaning. Dermaplaning is a form of exfoliation. By using a surgical blade, your esthetician, or if you're experienced, you can remove some peach fuzz from your face and some build-up skin. If you've never done this before, I highly suggest that you go to a salon, spa, and do it with an experienced person like esthetician, and I hope you are going to like the results. It's going to give you perfectly even and smooth canvas. The makeup is going to glide on beautifully. Okay, so our skin is already prepped and it looks nice and glowy. So we are going to go ahead and add on some glow. So in order to achieve that glow, I love using the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. I've tried this recently and oh my god, this is so amazing. Your skin literally looks like it's like you have a filter on your skin when you use it. I like to use it kind of like a BB cream, so I use it underneath my foundation. I like to actually add a little bit for underneath my eyes because it's so glowy. I feel like it brightens up my under eye area. The older that I get, I see more darkness and hollowness underneath my eye. I mean, it's one thing is getting older, but definitely what gives me the hollowness also is just dehydration. I really don't drink too much water, so don't be like me and drink a lot of water. I feel like we already have such a pretty glow. It kind of evens out the skin tone just slightly. I mean, it doesn't have coverage. I think this color is this is the lightest color, so it's number 1 Fair Pale. But it gives me very nice glow and kind of like an airbrushed look. Now that we have a beautiful base, I would like to even out skin tone by using some foundation. I actually love using my Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation, and I know that it is very high coverage. Not everybody is about the high coverage. It's quite matte, but I think the way that I'm applying this foundation still makes it look very natural, and it stays on all day, especially even now when I'm wearing a mask and it, you know, rubs off a little bit on the nose. I don't see that the foundation is moving too much. So for that reason, I love it. I just like when something stays really well all day, it doesn't transfer, and this foundation is my OG, my go-to. I've tried so many different kinds of foundations. I think in makeup, this is my favorite thing to do, is trying on new foundations, but I always go back to my Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation because it never disappoints me. So for this video, I am going to use it and I'm going to show you how I apply it so it still looks natural and doesn't mattify too much. We still see some glow. So in order to achieve kind of a sheer coverage, I don't apply too much. Simple as that. And first I apply it with some flat brush. Then I go with my beauty blender to blend it even better and melt it into the skin. So I take my brush and I don't try to be very precise with how I apply it, just kind of rub it all over, dragging it to my neck, of course, to even out and blend the face with the neck. So if you have more of a trouble areas that you feel like you need a little bit more coverage, you can add a little bit more. But if you have, just like me, some breakouts that you still need to cover, that's when we will go in with a concealer, not foundation. We want to create very thin layer of foundation just so it looks nice and even, but without caking it up on our skin. And even with this high coverage foundation, I really hope that you can tell, but I'm looking in the viewer and I think you can see that the skin is still very natural and glowy because of the Hollywood Flawless Filter from Charlotte Tilbury. And now that I feel like I have a nice even coverage, I take my damp beauty blender and I will just take the excess of the foundation and I just bounce all over my skin. that is going to push that foundation into the skin so it looks even more natural and undetectable. Okay, so now I want to bring just a little bit more of a glow. So I go in with the same Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter, and I apply just a little bit on top of my cheekbones. I apply on the sides of my nose and the tip of my nose. Just a little bit above the eyebrow area. And I like to apply it here. So I go in with my damp beauty blender and I blend everything, melt everything into the skin. Such a pretty glow. It looks very healthy, just flawless. So now we are going to spot conceal. I am taking my Tarte Shape Tape in color 16N, Fair Light Neutral. I forgot to mention my foundation color is 2W1 Dawn from Estee Lauder. And I will just spot conceal first. And I will blend it in with my beauty blender. If you want a little bit more coverage, instead of using damp beauty blender to blend it, the concealer on top of a breakout or some sort of discoloration, you can take a brush, and I'm going to show you how I do it in a second. With some areas, the beauty blender is going to take quite some of the product from your skin, but again, I want to make it look very natural, so I'd rather layer slowly than add too much and make it unnatural and very cakey. So just like I mentioned, if you want to have a little bit more coverage in some areas, like I feel like this guy needs a little bit more. And I'm going to also show you how I do my under eyes with the same concealer. So the older I get, the less concealer I feel I'm using, because it gets, if it gets too cakey, if I use too much product, it settles in the creases of my under eye area. I feel like when I turned 30, my skin all of a sudden started losing its elasticity. Plus, like I said before, I don't drink too much water, so that's probably another thing. But I noticed that the less concealer I use, the better. And the same with setting powder. If I use too much, it's just going to look dry and not a great look. But I take a blending brush, like a bigger blending brush, and I go in first and tap those areas that needed a little bit more coverage. The brush does not take away as much of the product as Beauty Blender does. And then I'm going in with my brush and blending it in that concealer. I have some darkness in this area, so I drag it over there and I just blend it. All right, we're going to set it with some powder in a second, but before I do, when the skin is kind of still a little bit sticky from that flawless filter, before I settle anything, I like to use some powder highlighter because it sticks very nicely to the still kind of moist skin, and it makes it look even more pronounced. So I am using Becca Rose Quartz highlighter, and it's such a pretty highlighter. It's kind of like a rosy gold, but not too pinky. So I like to apply my highlighter on top of my cheekbone, dragging it. I'm kind of doing like this C. I like to use it over here on top of the brow bone. But do you see how pretty this looks? I am going to do the sides of my nose, a little bit in here. I'm going to use it on top of my Cupid's bow. Just dust it a little. And just a little bit on my chin. And I'm going to use it in the inner corner of my eyes. I should probably set my under eyes first before I do it, but we're already doing it anyway. So now I am going to just set my skin with some setting powder. I am going to use Morphe Bake and Set translucent powder, and I use very little. And I take some translucent powder on my brush. I take out the excess. First, I will just take care of my eye area so the makeup doesn't set in there. And just dust very gently under your eyes. And if you get oily around your nose, you can also take a little bit of that setting powder and set that area. You don't want to set too much because then we're going to just mattify the glow. So now we want to bring some warmth back to my skin as I look a little bit flat, I want to say. I am going to bronze my skin. Now I am going to apply some blush. I don't know which blush I want to do. I think I'm going to go with my Tom Ford, and the color is Velvet Bloom. On top of the cheekbone, it has very, very subtle shimmer, so it's going to look very pretty. I wouldn't be myself if I didn't finish off with my eyebrows. As you can tell, my eyebrows kind of look a little bit dull because with the application of a makeup, some of that makeup got onto my eyebrows. So I'm going to show you the difference what washing or cleaning your eyebrows with either using a damp Q-tip or makeup wipe is going to make. So I take a wet wipe and clean off the eyebrow area. And I have a great tip also for you. Since I do permanent makeup, of course, this applies to people that had microblading done or some sort of permanent makeup on their eyebrows. If you feel that after some months, few months after you got it done, your eyebrows start looking a little bit dull, just take either like a mascara wand or maybe do some light scrub in your eyebrow area. And it's going to just remove the buildup of the skin and refresh the color of your permanent makeup / microblading. Take a look what just cleaning of my eyebrows with a wet wipe, how it changed. This one looks nice and fresh, and this one looks dull, almost like grayish, I wanna say. I'm trying really hard not to say in my videos. I think it's a comfort thing, but English is not my first language. Polish, my first language is Polish. Witam wszystkich Polaków. Now I am going to just apply a little bit of a brow gel, and I like using NYX Tinted Brow Mascara in color Blonde. The color is lighter than my eyebrow hair, but I like to use that because I feel like it gives me a little bit more of a dimension in my eyebrow area. Maybe I'm just making it up, but I'm brow obsessed and I see difference in that. So I just take a little bit of the product and I brush my hair upwards because I just love the look of a fluffy eyebrow, and I feel like it makes them appear a little bit thicker. All right, my last step. The brows was supposed to be a last step, but I actually thought that my lips need a little bit more of a gloss, so I am going to apply Sephora Glossed Lip Gloss in color Not Today, and it's such a pretty color, very natural. Alright guys, so our look is completed. I really hope you guys learned something new and you liked this video. If you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing and hit that notification bell button so you get notified every time that I upload a new video. Also, let me know down below in the comments what kind of videos you would like to see next. I'm really excited and pumped to film more often. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I will talk to you next time.